Limit is y goes to 0 of 5y divided by tangent of 2y. The first thing we're going to do is plug a 0 in for each of the y's. That'll give us 5 times 0 over tangent of 2 times 0. 5 times 0 is a 0. 2 times 0 is a 0. And we have 0 divided by the tangent of 0. Tangent of 0 is the sine of 0, which is a 0, divided by the cosine of 0, which is a 1. 0 divided by 1 is a 0. So we have the 0 over 0 indeterminate form. Since this is resulting from a power function, trig function, we're going to make use of the identity limit as theta goes to 0 of theta over sine of theta equals to 1. The first thing we need to do in our limit is rewrite the tangent as sine over cosine. So it'll be sine of 2y over cosine of 2y, so that we can isolate the signs and make the identity happen with each of the signs. Since we have a fraction in the denominator, our next step is going to be to reciprocate and multiply the denominator fraction with the numerator. So we have 5y times the reciprocal, which will be cosine of 2y over sine of 2y. We can put the 5y over 1 to help with the fraction multiplication. That will give us limit as y goes to 0 of 5y times cosine 2y. We multiply the numerators over 1 times sine 2y, which is just sine 2y. You multiply the denominators. Now that we can see our sine function, the next step is to isolate that sine function. We need to put it into its own fraction. It's in a denominator, so keep it in a denominator. All remaining terms, which are all in the numerator, can be written into their own fraction. And now we need to match the phase in the other position. We have a sine of 2y in the denominator, phase 2y. We need it to be in the other position, which is the numerator, so we'll put a 2y in there, and then we'll put a 2y in the other fraction to compensate for it. In the other fraction, the y's can cancel because they're multiplying the other terms, and we'll cancel those out. So that leaves us with limit as y goes to 0 of 2y divided by sine of 2y times 5 cosine of 2y divided by 2. The first fraction is the perfect form of the identity. The phase has been matched in the other position, and it has a limit as a 1. And therefore, we no longer have the 0 over 0 indeterminate form. We can plug a 0 in for any remaining y's. That will give us 5 cosine of 2 times 0 divided by 2. 1 times anything is that same thing, so we're going to have 5 cosine of 2 times 0 is a 0 divided by 2. Cosine of 0 is a 1, so we'll have 5 times 1 divided by 2, and that equals 5 over 2.